I am Father Roque D'Costa, a Holy Cross priest from India, but a member of the Board of Directors of the Family Rosary Crusade, Philippines. Today is the 32nd Sunday in Ordinary Time. And the Gospel passage for our reflection today is from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 25, verses 1 to 13. Those of you who have vehicles and who embark on long journeys will have to make sure that you have sufficient fuel, that the engine and brakes are in top condition, that you have a spare tire in case of emergency, lest you get stranded on the highway. We also will pack sufficient drinking water and snacks to make our trip comfortable, while we try to ensure that we reach our destination safely. Our Gospel passage today reminds us to prepare and prepare even more for the eternal destination. Be prepared that you may not be left out. The story of the 5 foolish and the 5 virgins may not sound real to us. It was a custom in those days in Palestinian villages to keep the bride company till the bridegroom arrived. The exact time of his arrival was never certain. What was certain was that he would arrive at night, and before his arrival, a man would go ahead announcing his imminent arrival. Once he has arrived, the doors are shut and latecomers were not admitted to the ceremony. While the story has significance for the Jews of that time, it also has meaning for us in the 21st century, meaning for us today. The maidens, virgins were privileged to be the select few to be invited, but some of them did not prepare sufficiently and considered to be foolish, while others made sure that they were prepared for any eventuality and were still awake when the bridegroom arrived. And they were the wise ones. The bridegroom is constantly coming. Do we possess the necessary light in us to recognize him? Or is our vision dimmed by worldly concerns that we do not notice the presence of the bridegroom in our midst? The story tells us 2 other important lessons. First, it warns us that certain things cannot be obtained at the last minute. A student cannot do well in an examination with a last-minute preparation. One has to keep the intellect constantly oiled. An athlete or sports person will not be able to perform well unless he or she has prepared or practiced sufficiently. If there's a job opportunity, you will not be able to apply for it unless you are already possessing the necessary skills for it. So be prepared always. It also warns us that there are certain things which cannot be borrowed. We may ask why the wise virgin did not share the oil with the foolish ones. If they had to do that, perhaps all would have been in darkness. You cannot borrow a relationship with God from someone else. You must possess it yourself. One cannot borrow character from someone else. Either you have it or not. We must be clothed with good character. We cannot live on the spiritual capital of others. Let us then prepare ourselves, equip ourselves with whatever is essential for that examination of life, for that greater encounter with the Lord. We have to be constantly awake to see God's presence within us, in others, and in the world. We have to be awake to hear God speak to us through the words of a loving wife, husband, parent, child, friend, or even the critical remarks of an enemy. Only those who are fully awake, burning with the fire of the Spirit, will be able to experience the joy of the Lord. Be prepared. Be like the wise virgins.